On the bench today we have a Technics SL BD22 in for service. The customer says that it just stopped working. So I'm not sure what exactly that means. So we're going to do a function check and evaluation and go from there. So first I will remove the dust cover. And as a part of my basic service, I polish the dust cover, so I'll get that on video as well. Take everything off of here. Connect it to power. It is missing the platter mat. So let's see if I can find something to put on there. I usually keep some cork platter mats in stock in the event they're missing, like on this one, but I don't think I have any right now, so I have to order some. But it doesn't really matter for the basic test. So the light is on. I don't know if you can see that. So the light is on. This is belt drive. So yeah, the motor's running, so that's good. So let's try, see if queuing is working. Queuing doesn't seem to be working. Oh yeah, queuing is working, so that's good. Let's see if I can motivate this thing to do something. Barely moving. Motor spinning, and that belt is pretty loose. See how that motor's spinning. Oh, look at that. Like the motor just stops. Oh, this is actually very... I was suspecting maybe this needed to be lubed, but this is actually spinning pretty good. I mean, I would do that as a service anyway, but that's... I mean, that'll keep going forever. It's going pretty good. So I'm kind of assuming at this point there's an issue with that motor. So let's flip it over and see what we got. There's the motor. Looks like it's maybe clipped into place. It just kind of slides into place. This is a rubber outer shell, and I think we just pop it out of there by twisting it. I'm not sure. I have to look at this motor, see if it's sealed. See if I can actually get into it and maybe service the motor. I mean, it doesn't. Maybe the contacts are dirty on the inside. Just don't know if I can get that off of there. interesting. I'm just trying to slide this cover off to get to a point where I can see. Looks like I should be able to remove the solder from here and pop that off. What I don't know about is how to remove this pulley. It's probably held on just by friction. Before I do anything else, man, I don't know. Because the motor is going to have to come out. It's going to have to slide out of this case. So I'd have to remove the solder from there, pull the motor out of the case, I'm sure that's just held in there by friction. I may have to get a couple of spoons and kind of pry that off. All right, so let me chew on this and come back and see what I can do. So I was able to get that motor apart. What I'm going to do is take some contact cleaner and clean off this part of the motor. I'm going to drop a few little drops of oil right where this shaft comes out of the case. I'm going to clean off these two little arms here. I mean, I can see that they're, I know you can't see it in the video, but they're black. They're just completely covered in carbon. So some contact cleaner, some cotton swabs, and lube it, put it back together, see what happens. So what took so long there was, the brushes on the outside of the bottom of this motor, there's a little post, right? Kind of looks like this. There's a little tiny piece that sticks out the end that goes into this little reservoir here, right? So what's happening is there are brushes and they have 3 fingers, and I didn't want that washer to get caught between the 3 fingers, right, when I pushed it back in there. So I had to move the washer down to the bottom of that post and then seat it and then push it into position. And the magnets were so strong they just pulled it right out when I put it in there. So now it's a matter of reassembling the motor. I should just snap that back into position. And oh, you know what I forgot to do though? Before I do that, I thought I would need to remove the solder from those pads, but I did not. So let me Resolder these real quick. Oops, that was good. And get it back to what it looked like. It was kind of a big square there. There wasn't anything there, wasn't anything there before. But 2 globs of solder. Now, put this back in position. May have to get some pliers just to pop that back in there. Oops. Doesn't need to go in there very far. I just need to get it to seat back down in there like that. So that looks pretty good. All right, gotta bend this tab just a little bit, and then I'll put some solder there. Put the motor back in, fire it up, and see if it's better. That solder kind of got out of control there. Let me remove that blob. That appears to be good. I will resolder the red wire post. Looks like it's all one pad, so it's alright if I had a big blob there. Look kind of less than professional, I guess. Okay. Put the motor back in here. Like so. Oops. Man, just went flying. That appears good. Put this back into position. Alright, that actually just kind of popped right back in there. I do want to set this back on the base, the bottom of the base, the bottom of the plinth, and see if that motor is any stronger, because I barely touched it and it just stopped moving. So let's see if we have some better torque on it now. Oh yeah, see, not it's better than it was. It's still stopping. It's better than it was though. See what effect that has if I put the plier on. The belt looks good. The belt appears to be good. See what happens. Okay, so the speed is off. There, it's on. So speed had locked in position pretty good. 33, 45 is locked in. Queuing works. So I think that did the trick. I want to see if I can get some oil down in there. I'm just trying to determine how I can do that. Boy, this is like a super lightweight turntable. So the platter spindle slides into a groove here, and it actually comes out enough to where I don't think I have to disassemble it. I can just hit it with a little bit of oil to slide into that reservoir. You have to use this oil rather than dismantle the whole thing. Oh yeah, that's pretty easy. I thought it was. You have to go from this side. Yep. I just want to put a couple drops of oil there. Perfect. So I'm going to put this back together and we'll give it a test run. So put the feet back on, bottom cover on. I didn't film that for whatever reason. So just to recap, I lubed the spindle on the bottom. I was able to get to that. I took the motor apart, serviced the motor, cleaned it, put a little bit of oil on the moving parts in there. Again, this came to me without a platter mat. I'm going to have to ask the customer if he has one. If not, I can maybe hook him up with one, or find one. So I want to just do a function test. Make sure it's queuing up. Starts. Speed locks on. Speed looks good. It's got enough to move it back into position. Shuts off. The speed is staying constant at 33. Slows down just a little bit, but that's kind of normal for when it's doing the auto return thing. So I think this is good. I'm going to do my standard wipe down. No, this one doesn't look too dirty. I don't see it caked in nicotine or anything like that. Then a quick dust cover polish, which I'll just speed through that. We'll see if we have to do that. I don't know. I may clean it and just kind of see how bad the scratches are. If they're super light, I may just buff it with some scratch checks or something. But so we'll let this dry, and I'll brush it off because these Clorox wipes, they leave a little tiny bit of they leave lint. Oh yeah, that's pretty scratched. So I think the turntable itself is good. I'm going to do the dust cover now. I'll clean it off, buff it out with some Scratch X, and see what it looks like. Well, it looks better than it did. I think some of the issues are, there was some gunk on the inside of this lid. Oh yeah, a little bit. Get rid of all the stuff on here. Kind of hard to see on the towel, but it does look better. It is clearer than it was. Yeah, I think that's going to work out just fine. All right, so Technics SL BD22. Motor's been serviced, spindle's been lubed, belt was good, speed pots have been adjusted. Came to me with a missing platter mat. Have to see if the customer wants me to pick one up for him before I deliver it to him. Did a basic polish of the dust cover. I got a little bit better. Not perfect, but a little bit better than it was. So we're gonna call this one good. If you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.